I've been sick for a little while now, and I binged every Saw movie up to Saw 7. Yes, up to Saw 7. Because they're all on Hulu, and I have Hulu, and I'm going to watch the other two soon. And it got me thinking, a lot of the people that watch Saw might be socialist in one aspect, and I am like to think that I'm fairly socialist. I think people should get health care. I think people should get food and water. If it's vital to life, you should be able to have it. You should be able to get some sort of living situation. No one should be homeless. You should be able to get, or no one should be homeless that isn't actively trying to be homeless. And no one is actively trying to be homeless. I'm just going to say that. No one is. Um, People should be treated equally, and you should be paid what you're worth. For it's a quote from the Bible. People think it's a quote from the Bible, but it's a quote from Karl Marx, the man who invented Marxism, shockingly. And it is from each to his ability to each of his need, or is something. It's something like that, and it's basically saying, okay, you provide what you can for the world. And so, because you are doing that, doesn't matter what your job is, if you're a USPS delivery man or delivery woman, you are entitled to everything that everyone else is entitled to as well, because you are providing a service that benefits the whole. And John Kramer. Okay, by the way, spoilers about Saw. So if you don't want to see them, sorry. But spoilers about Saw. Um, John Kramer says he's not a murderer, etc. He 100% is. He's a jigsaw killer who sets the people up in the traps. I'm not going to show any of the traps because I don't want to freak you guys out if you guys aren't into that, and if you're just here to understand my reasoning why. Basically, he says he's not a murderer, etc. He 100% is. Sometimes, though, the people in his traps, one of them is a sex offender who essayed, you can figure out what that means, and murdered 2 women. Do you think that he should have been in a trap? And here I'm going to describe the trap. Skip forward a little bit if you don't want to hear the description. Where he gets to choose between getting his eyes out or having his rims lipped off and he dies. Or his limbs. Do you think that he should be put in that trap? Or do you think that that is inhumane no matter what he did? I think, because there are some people in Saw that are put in traps because they take meds. Like, they take antidepressants. And that's, I think, insane. That's some wild, whack-ass reasoning. But do you think that sexually assaulting and murdering 2 people should put you into a trap like that? If not, you're a socialist. In this regard, socialism says murdering a murderer is murder, no matter how you want to phrase it. He should have definitely been behind bars, should have definitely never seen the streets again. Or what Jigsaw does is he claims he instantly rehabilitates people. And so if he does get out of the trap, is he instantly rehabilitated with no eyes? He sacrificed his eyes and he got a chance at life. Is that worth it? Is he at that point instantly rehabilitated, and should he be allowed to be on the streets again? Socialism says, okay, if you commit a crime, A, you should never be sentenced to death, which is kind of a slippery slope, but if you think murder is bad, why would murdering someone who has murdered other people, admittedly, what would that help? Or They could rot in a prison, which, what does that help either? Prisons are overcrowded. So, I could see both sides of it. But it also says rehabilitation. This is where Sweden does an incredible job. Sweden rehabilitates prisoners, gives them jobs, communities. They're basically in an apartment in prison. They're given therapy, school, so much stuff that they can do in prison to help them get out, to help them do better while they're out of prison. While America has, I believe it was an 80% re-put back into prison and back into the prison system. Sweden has a much smaller, much smaller margin for people that go back to prison. I believe it's nearly 0%. I'm going to look it up. Sweden prison. Oh my god, I can't spell. Prison. Return rate. Sweden's prison is... Okay. Sweden has a 40% return rate, and right here it says Norway has a 20%. That's much different than America's, which is... I'm going to look it up. American prison return rate, which is an 82%. That's less than half. If you go to prison in Sweden, you're less than half as likely to go back to it as you would be in America. So yeah, just think about that. Adios.